You guys can obviously feel the way I talk. We have a lot of kind of business little things slid into it. I don't like to talk about money because I think it's inappropriate. But I mean, as a single practitioner in America, if you're doing a good clinic, I mean, I think $200,000 to $600,000 is easy. I mean, you should be in that zone somewhere. I mean, I think you can trip over and make 100 grand. I don't know what it is in Australia. It's maybe different, but I don't like to talk about figures and all that. But I mean, if you guys want to make a good living, and it's not about making money, it's just usually money is a byproduct of a successful clinic. You know, it's because in America, so many people suffer and so many people have 2, 3, 4 jobs. So many people aren't making it. And the reason why we talk about that is because there's so many beautiful, wonderful practitioners with great hearts and they don't get to practice. And so even if you're the best person in the world, if you can't practice, what good is it? And so that's why business is kind of important. That's why I'd rather have you guys know how to implement the points better from kind of a modern day perspective than know all the points and not be able to implement them. Because if you can't implement them, you won't have a good practice. And someone asked about the energy. I mean, honestly, you can stay lit up in your clinic because things just kind of are good and they're happy and people get better and you know, you don't feel like you're selling yourself short and doing the $20 home visits when I first started on a Sunday because I was just like, you know, nothing was working and you know, it just takes a toll on you emotionally and physically and mentally and you don't feel worth and you don't, I don't know, it's just troublesome. So acupuncture is super important, but certainly the business side is and the more I get into just not being so concerned about money or not wanting it, and I think everyone knows this, when you follow your passion, it just kind of shows up. You know, it's like you meet the love of your life when you're going to buy tomatoes at the grocery store, right? I mean, rarely do you meet the love of your life and you're like, I'm gonna go meet a girl tonight at a club. I mean, usually you meet the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams when you're just at church or walking down the street and some random event happens and boom, it happens. And the same thing with having a successful practice in money is usually when obviously you need money to pay your bills, but if you don't really, that's not the goal to get your money. The goal is to help you, and if I can be of service, then the money just seems to show up. And it's just like in a marriage. I mean, usually marriages are really good as long as it's not about what you can do for me, honey. It's about how I can best serve you. And then she serves me as well. It's not about what you give me. And that's usually when you get in a bad marriage. And I would say the same thing in a business. I see you as $95. That's probably not going to be a real good long-term relationship. But if I see you as someone in pain and suffering, but I do have a value, and I'm going to treat you, and for that exchange you pay me, I think that's a very nice exchange. And then usually you'll see your numbers and patients grow. And in America, I always bring that up because a lot of people in America are just like, if I could just make 6 figures, and my whole thing is if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. Like you shouldn't, I mean, my goal is to make $1 million, not gonna make it at all. But the cool thing is when you fail, still did great. If you shoot for 100 grand and you make it, you only did 100 grand. Why not? If you want 100, why not go for 500? If you fail, so what? But then you'll probably make 250. Like you overshoot your goal. Like you got to kind of scare yourself a bit. So enough on business, but just keep that in mind. So.